guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally making a video that I've kind of been putting off. I've wanted to make this for a long time and I just kept getting more and more polishes to swatch. But today I am going to be sharing with you my Jamberry nail polish collection. So currently my collection consists of 40/41 nail polishes, and I will better explain that as that comes. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen swatches of most of these. I do have a few to post soon, as soon as I can. So for that reason, I will link my Instagram handle in the description box below. I'll also leave Jamberry's Instagram and a link to all of their nail polishes if you're interested in any of these that are currently available. Some of them, and I will let you know which ones as they come, are not available anymore. I will be doing the little live swatch videos up here like I have for my favorite video. One, I've only done one favorite video. But I'll be doing the live swatches up there for that. And then in between each color, I'm going to insert my swatch photo just like usual. So this is going to be a lengthy video in general, so let's go ahead and just get started. So starting with our reds, the first polish I'm going to talk to you about is Red Currant, and this is a deeper red polish. It's kind of like that oxblood red that is just absolutely perfect for this time of year. This is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats. It has an absolutely perfect formula. This is one that I would describe as like almost applying itself. I did do 2 coats for my swatch, but I will say this one dries really fast. It just dries down maybe just a touch dull, so you will want a good top coat. For all of my swatch photos, I did use the Ultra Shine top coat from Jamberry, or I used the matte top coat from Jamberry. So in the swatch photo that I did for this color, I did use the Ultra Shine top coat. So the next polish is called Cardinal, and this is kind of the brighter red. This is the more traditional red. It's kind of like that apple red that you see just in every collection. This one had a little bit of a thinner formula than most Jamberry polishes do. This is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats depending on your application. I did do 2 coats for my swatch, but even though this is a thinner formula, it has a really even coverage, which is really nice. This one also dries super fast and decently glossy. I did top off my swatch photo though with a coat of the Ultra Shine top coat, also from Jamberry. The next polish I'm going to be talking to you about is I Lava You, and this is a red polish, but it's got like a gold shimmer throughout it, which kind of almost dyes it gold, so it's like a red gold. It reminds me of something that would potentially be in Aladdin. This is another one that, depending on your application, could be completely opaque in 1 coat, but I did do 2 coats for my swatches. Another one that has a really, really fantastic formula, really easy to use, not too thick, not too thin. And this one also does dry decently glossy, but again, I used the Ultra Shine top coat from Jamberry for my swatches. The next polish I'm going to be talking to you about is the Real Zing, and this is a bright neon orange cream polish. This has a jelly formula, so it does take at least 3 coats to build up to opacity. You may even need 4 coats or more. I did stop at 3 coats for my swatches. This one also does dry a little bit dull. This is not one of my favorites from Jamberry. It's not bad by any means. It's got a thinner formula than I like, but I mean it's a jelly polish. It's nice. It is really pretty as a full manicure. So in my swatch photo, I have 3 coats of the Real Zing and Ultra Shine top coat, also from Jamberry. Next up is Zest, and this is kind of like a dusty yellow, like a light yellow cream polish. I got this completely opaque in 2 coats. This one also has an amazing formula, and being a maker myself, I know yellows aren't the easiest to get opaque good formulas on, so I am actually really impressed with this polish. This one also dries very fast and glossy. So in my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Zest and Ultra Shine top coat, also from Jamberry. So the next polish I'm going to be talking to you about is Dragon, and this is a green polish. It's kind of like a light, I don't want to say emerald because it's, I think of like shiny, but if emerald wasn't so glittery, that would be this color. I was able to get this one completely opaque in 2 coats. This has an amazing formula, really easy to work with. This one does self-level really nicely as well, so it does have a really nice even application. And the color payoff on this is absolutely beautiful. This one does dry fast like the rest of them, but it does dry just a little bit dull, so you will want a good top coat. So for my swatch photo, I used 2 coats of Dragon and Jamberry's matte top coat. So next up is Getaway. This is kind of like a teal polish. It's a cream jelly polish. Absolutely beautiful on the nail. This one did take 3 coats to become completely opaque though. It is, like I said, that kind of jelly formula, kind of like the Real Zing, not nearly as jelly as the Real Zing, but it is a jelly formula, so it will take a little bit of building up. This one does dry dull. I would say it dries almost to a matte finish, but not quite there. So you will want either a glossy top coat or a matte top coat to just kind of make it look complete. In my photo, I did 3 coats of Getaway and Jamberry's matte top coat. Next up from Jamberry is called Beach Buggle, and this was actually one of my first polishes from Jamberry. This one is no longer available on their site, so I'm not going to dwell too long on it. I will say that it is an absolutely beautiful color for the summer. This is completely opaque in 2 coats, and it has a really nice, really easy to work with formula. In my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Beach Buggle and Jamberry's Ultra Shine top coat. So next up is Amazon, and this is one of the newer polishes that I have. And this polish is almost like a teal blue polish with a super strong silver shimmer. I was able to get this completely opaque in 2 coats. Depending on your application, you may be able to get it opaque in 1 coat if you're not like a super stickler about a nail line. But I just like to do 2 coats. Even if it looks completely opaque in 1 coat, I'll usually go for that 2nd coat. This has a flawless formula, perfect application, really easy to work with. Another one of those that I consider it almost applies itself, you know what I mean? I also think that the shimmer translates absolutely beautifully to your nail on this color. I hate those kind of colors that are like, you can see it in the bottle, but when it gets onto your nail, it's a totally different story. But this one looks exactly like it does in the bottle on your nail. I will say this one does dry a touch dull, so you will want a good top coat. In my swatch photo, I did do 2 coats of Amazon and Jamberry's Ultra Shine top coat. Up next from Jamberry is Blue Suede Shoes, and this is kind of like that royal blue cream polish. I was able to get this completely opaque in 2 coats. Depending on your application, you may be able to get away with 1 coat. This one is decently easy to use, but I will say it does have a little bit of a thinner formula on the spectrum of Jamberry polishes. This is on the thinner side. So in my swatch photo, I did do 2 coats of Blue Suede Shoes and Jamberry's Ultra Shine top coat. Next up from Jamberry is another one that is decently new to my collection, and this is Jukebox. This is one that I would say is like a lavender blurbly polish. This one does have a thinner formula, so it is on the sheer side on the first couple of coats, but it does build up for me completely opaque in 3 coats. Depending on your application, you may need 4 coats. I will say this is not the easiest polish to work with though. I did have some kind of flooding in my cuticles and pulling down my nails and unevenness, so it's not easy to work with, but you get used to it. It's not hard. By your 10th nail in the manicure, you should be pretty good to go with this. But this one does dry extremely glossy. So in my swatch photo, I have 3 coats of Jukebox and Ultra Shine top coat, also from Jamberry. Next up from Jamberry is VIP, and I would say this is that royal purple. You know, it's a deeper purple cream polish. This has an absolutely perfect formula, really easy to use, really easy to work with. I did do 2 coats of this to be completely opaque. This one also dries down pretty glossy. I do suggest a top coat for all of your manicures. It just helps it last a little bit longer, but it also gives it either that kind of shine that just is absolutely perfect on a manicure, or that matte finish that's just so fierce right now. So in my swatch photo, I do have 2 coats of VIP and Jamberry's Ultra Shine top coat. Next up from Jamberry, I have Royal, and And I was kind of nervous to get this polish because I did have somebody message me asking me before I even got it if I had it, and I said I didn't. And she was like, well, if you do decide to get it, it's got like a really bad formula. I just wanted to know your opinion on it, if there was anything I was doing wrong. And so I was actually really nervous to get this one. It does have a really thin formula, so it is patchy, it is streaky. I was able to get it completely opaque in 2 coats with no patches or streaks or anything of that sort. But it may take you 3 coats to level out your manicure depending on your application. I will say there's a ton of glitter in this, and you get all of that on your nails, and it is an absolutely beautiful manicure at the end of the day. So I would say that the less than perfect formula is worth the color payoff. So in my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Royal and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up from Jamberry, I have Waltz. This is one that I've been asked so many times, can you swatch it, can you swatch it, can you swatch it, can you swatch it? And to this day, I haven't posted it. I do have it swatched. I just have so many things that I'm trying to get posted, but it's coming. I've got it, and I'm going to put it in here in case anybody's watching that has asked me. This is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats, depending on your application. Again, I did do 2 coats. This has an absolutely flawless formula. It is really easy to work with. It dries fast. It dries glossy. Perfect formula. I absolutely love this polish. No, I'm not looking to get rid of it. Thank you for asking. But no, this is not available anymore. So in my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Showtime and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Vamp, and this is a dark purple polish. When I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like that ox blood, like darker than red Currant, not quite black. I will say though that this is almost as close to black as you can get. It is one of those polishes that when you see it on your nails, it looks black. It can be mistaken for black. I even did a gradient with this and Raven and ended up taking it down off of my Instagram page because everybody was like, it just looks like one color. This is very close to black. This has a really great, really easy to work with formula though. It is completely opaque in 2 coats. It does dry down just a touch dull, so you will want a good top coat. So in my swatch photo for Vamp, I did 2 coats and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is another one that is decently new to my collection, and this is called Pick Me Up. This is almost a peachy, light pink cream polish. This is perfect in 2 coats for me. Depending on your application, you could probably get away with 1 coat. It has an amazing, easy to work with formula. A lot of Jamberry's polishes I feel lean one way or the other. It's either got a fantastically easy to work with formula, or it's a little bit thinner and not so easy to work with. This is on the spectrum of so easy it almost applies itself. This one has great coverage and it dries very glossy. In my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Pick Me Up and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Rose Quartz. This color is something that speaks to my soul. This is kind of me in a bottle. Unfortunately, it's on the end of the spectrum that has the thinner formula. It's not so easy to work with. It's patchy on the first couple of coats. This one did take 3 coats for me to be completely happy with the manicure. I will say though that it dries fast enough that doing 3 coats isn't a huge deal to me. So in my swatch photos, I have 3 coats of Rose Quartz and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Petal To The Metal. This is kind of like that princess pink bubblegum polish that is just absolutely beautiful. This is another one that took 3 coats to be completely opaque for me. The formula is on the thinner side. It's not so thin that it's difficult to work with, but it is noticeably thinner than most of their other formulas. It does apply just a little bit patchy, but it does dry super fast and super glossy. So in my swatch photo for Petal To The Metal, you will see 3 coats and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Kiss. This was my very first polish from Jamberry. This is what started my obsession. This is like a darker raspberry pink polish. Amazing, amazing formula, great coverage, very easy to work with, completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats depending on your application. I did 2 coats. This one also dries very fast and very glossy. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Kiss and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Hazy Grey. This one was released at the beginning of the month with Showtime and all their Set in Stone collection and their fall stuff. I actually don't think I've talked about any of those yet. I'm getting to them. They're all coming up. This is a steel gray cream polish with a great formula. It's easy to work with. It is on the thinner side, but it's not thin where it needs 3 coats. It's just noticeably thinner than their, again, thicker polishes. This one does dry fast. This one does dry glossy. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Hazy Grey and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Gunmetal, and this is that Gunmetal Gray with a super strong silver shimmer running throughout it. This one does have a thinner formula. It's not difficult to use by any means. It is just a little bit thinner that it would take 3 coats to be completely opaque for me. If you're not such a huge stickler for nail lines like I am, you would potentially be able to wear 2 coats of this and be just fine with that. This one does apply decently streaky though. Most of those will go away as it dries, but not all of them. So in my swatch photo, you will see 3 coats of Gunmetal and Jamberry's matte top coat. The next 3 polishes I'm going to be talking about kind of have the same formula, the same finish, the same look. First up is Vintage Luxe, and this is another one that just released September 1st with Jamberry. It has an okay formula to work with. It applies and dries very streaky though. It's got like, again, that vintagey look, you know, Vintage Luxe. It is a really pretty color, and some of those brush strokes do go away as it dries, but not all of them. This is not really my style. I know some people love these, but just personally, I don't care to wear them. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Vintage Luxe and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. The next one is called Antique, and this was the first kind of streaky one that I had. This was the first polish from Jamberry that I was like, I don't know if I particularly like that. This one doesn't have the easiest formula to work with. I did have a little bit of running, a little bit of pooling. Again, this one does apply and dry very streaky. I was able to get this completely opaque in 2 coats. Depending on your application though, you may need a 3rd coat. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Antique and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. So the last of these little streaky-ish polishes that I have for you today is Frosting, and this is kind of like that pearly white color. It's a very pretty color. It's just, again, not my style. Again, this one has a decently thin formula. It is a little bit tricky to work with. And you know, I didn't say this in any of the other ones, but to avoid those streaky streaks, try sponging on your last coat. Maybe I'll do that in a demonstration some other time. I didn't think about it until now, but it does help minimize the streaking in the end result look. Losing my words here. This did take 3 coats to be completely opaque, dries fast, dries glossy, so in my swatch photo you will see 3 coats of Frosting and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. The next polish is called Midas, M-I-D-A-S, and this is a gold polish with a ton of silver glitter in there. This one is really, really easy to work with. This one also dries just a little bit streaky. I didn't want to include it in those streaky formula polishes though, because most of those streaks do disappear as it dries, and it is very easy to work with as opposed to the other ones. This one is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats. I actually did 1 coat for this because I looked at it at the end. I saw absolutely no nail line and it matched the color in the bottle, so I was happy with this one in 1 coat, but depending on your application you may need 2 coats. So in my swatch photo, you will see 1 coat of this and Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Sandstorm. This one is another one that released September 1st. This is a gold that has a bunch of silver holographic glitter in it. This one is also not one of my favorites. I'm not a huge fan of textured polishes, and this one does dry textured. It does have a really easy to work with formula though, good formula, good color payoff. This one does dry really fast though, just a little bit dull, so you will want a good top coat. So in my swatch photo of Sandstorm, I have 2 coats in Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Cashmere. This one is, yet again, another one that released September 1st. This is that super light gray, almost white color. This has an amazing formula, really easy to work with. Completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats, depending on your application. I did do 2 coats. I did want to note in here that this is one of my favorite Jamberry polishes as well. This one dries super fast as well as super glossy. So in my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Cashmere and 1 coat of Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Au Naturale. Now I'm starting my nude polishes with them, and I love their nude polishes. I haven't found one that I don't. So Au Naturale actually has a little bit of a thinner formula. It's not hard to work with. It is completely opaque in 2 coats. It is just notably thinner in my opinion. This one does dry decently glossy, but I like it the best in its matte stage, adding a matte top coat. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Au Naturale and Jamberry's matte top coat. Next up is Barely There. Another shout out to another favorite of mine from Jamberry. Out of their neutral polishes, this is definitely my favorite. It's a nude polish, but it has just a little kiss of pink in there, and it complements my skin color so well. This has a perfect formula, really easy to work with. Another one of those that I feel like it almost applies itself. This is completely opaque in 2 coats. It does dry glossy, but again, I like it the best when it's matte. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Barely There and Jamberry's matte top coat. Next up is Coffee Shop, and this one is beautiful. This is a darker nude. I'm kind of going lightest to darkest right now. This one is just a little bit more brown than the previous polishes. Amazing formula, totally opaque in 1 to 2 coats depending on your application. I did 2 coats. Really easy to work with. I prefer this polish matte. This one does dry fast and it does dry decently glossy. So in my swatch photo, you will see 2 coats of Coffee Shop and Jamberry's matte top coat. Next up is Terracotta. Just take a moment here. This is beautiful. This was one of their releases, again, September 1st. I love this. This is like a pumpkin pie on your nails. It doesn't have the best of formulas. It's a little bit on the thin side. It's not hard to work with, but it is noticeably thinner. The color payoff on this, though, is so worth it. I would do 4 coats. It's just that staple stark white nail polish that every collection needs. So in my swatch photo, I have 2 coats of Canvas and Jamberry's matte top coat. Next up is Raven, and this is their staple black cream polish. This has actually an amazing formula. It is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats depending on your application. It was completely opaque in 1 coat for me, but again, I applied a 2nd coat just because I'm a stickler. Fantastic formula though, really easy to work with. Again, this is one that I feel like every collection just needs, is a black cream polish. This one does dry super fast and super glossy, so in my swatch photo you will see 2 coats of Raven and Jamberry's matte top coat. First up, I have Touch of Sparkle. This is a glitter topper, and it is all holographic glitter. This one cannot be built up to be opaque on its own. This does have a fantastic formula, really easy to work with, and it spreads out evenly across any color that you're layering it over. You get a ton of glitter out of this. It dries fast, it dries glossy, it dries smooth. So in my swatch photo, you will see 1 coat of Touch of Sparkle over 2 coats of Raven, all topped off with Jamberry's Ultra Shine top coat. Next up is Lovestruck. This is a ton of chunky glitter, small glitter. It's all silver, it's in a clear base. This one could be built up to be completely opaque on its own, applying 3 coats regularly or applying 1 coat and sponging on 1 coat. This has a really good glitter payoff. There's no need to fish or swirl or tip the bottle or do anything special. It just comes out like an absolutely regular polish. And you get a ton of glitter with this. Really easy to use, really great formula. This one will also dry just a little bit textured and will be a little bit difficult to remove because of all that glitter. So in my swatch photo, you will see 1 coat of Lovestruck over 2 coats of red Currant, all topped off with Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Stardust. This is a super dense glitter. It's really easy to work with, really great formula, ton of glitter payoff, I did not expect that much glitter to come out. I layered this, but I feel like this could be completely opaque on its own in just 2 coats. I didn't try it, but it would be an absolutely beautiful manicure. This will be very difficult to remove because it is a ton of micro glitter. This one will also dry textured and a little bit dull, so you will want an actual top coat for it. So in my swatch photo, you will see 1 coat of Stardust over 2 coats of Petal To The Metal, all topped off with Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. Next up is Glitter Effect Top Coat, and this is a bunch of pink and yellow glitter in, it seems like a pink base, but it's not colored on your actual nail. I even put it over a white and it wasn't colored. These are all iridescent glitters, so depending on what color you layer it over will determine what colors reflect out of the glitter on your nail. Does that make any sense? This cannot be built up to be completely opaque on its own. It is very easy to work with, very easy formula. You get a ton of glitter on your brush without any need to fish, swirl, bottle upside down. You don't have to do anything like that. So in my swatch photo, you will see 1 coat of Glitter Effect over 2 coats of Jukebox, all topped off with Jamberry's Ultra Shine Top Coat. So this was my kind of like extra, I don't know what to call this, a polish or not. It's not a nail polish, but it comes in a nail polish bottle. It sits on my nail polish rack. It's listed with lacquers. I don't know what to say. This is Design Dimensions Mixed Metallics. All this is studs. There's silver, there's gold, there's squares, there's circles, there's diamonds, there's triangles, there's shiny, there's matte. There's everything in this, and it comes out, what I really like about this is that it comes out, I'm going to swipe it all off just to show you, with this magnetic almost brush, but it's not a brush. But see, if you dip it in there, you will get just a couple. You will get a couple of glitters. I can't pick it up without them falling off. You will get a couple of glitters out of here, so it's not bombarding you with a ton of glitter. In my swatch photo, I used Coffee Shop as a base and then just applied a couple of these studs on there. And then finally, I just wanted to talk to you about their top coats. So first off is their Ultra Shine Top Coat. I have 3 bottles of this because it is really nice. It's on the thinner side, it's easy to work with, it's fast drying, super shiny. It is a glitter eating top coat, so even with those textured polishes, you only need 1 coat of this to make a smooth manicure. So as far as mainstream top coats go, Jamberry is up there for me. And then their matte top coat. This is actually one of my favorite matte top coats of indie or mainstream. It does need a good shake before you apply it, but it mattes super fast. It dries so fast to the touch. I know a lot of the matte top coats that I've had in the past, it dries matte decently fast, but if you touch it, it messes it all up. So this one doesn't, I actually don't have that issue with this one. So I really love this top coat. I need another bottle. And that's it! Thank you guys for sitting through my 41 Jamberry nail polishes. If you liked this video, I will make them as I've accumulated more Jamberry nail polishes. I've only got about half of what they have to offer right now, so maybe I would make 2 more of these if I get them all, or you know, as they come out. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Be sure to check that description box for all of the links if you're interested in any of these nail polishes. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!